Through the juxtaposition of image and typography, visual communication designers play influential roles in shaping economic, social, political, and cultural aspects of society. While the public interacts with varied forms of visual design on a daily basis, generally there's little awareness of the designer or process behind the designed artifact. It is largely accepted that the artist, who exhibits in galleries and whose products are collected by museums and patrons alike, is typically connected and credited with the works that are produced. In contrast to artistic practice, and despite its prevalence, visual communication design has been a seemingly ubiquitous and anonymous profession. Rapid advances in video technology are broadening the scope of subject matter. The story of design, the designer, and the role of design is being shared through a recent proliferation of films. This first wave of films on visual communication design has significant implications. It increases the awareness of an often overlooked and misunderstood profession. It also sheds light on those who practice design, their influences and their ideologies. So this not only affects the general public, but the discourse within the design community itself. Between 2001 and 2004, technological innovations in video cameras made quality filmmaking more accessible to those with no to low budgets. The introduction of affordable prosumer cameras, particularly 3C CD, mini DV cameras, like the popular Canon XL1 and Panasonic DVX100, allowed good quality motion picture making without the expense of film or expensive video cameras. This technology spurred a boom in movie making.
My name is Hillman Curtis. I'm a filmmaker, author, and new media designer. Final Cut Pro, I think, in its second iteration, became a tool that I felt that I could easily use. At the very same time, Panasonic released the DVX100, I believe. And so it's this weird synchronicity. And maybe it's not that weird. Maybe it's just the way things work. But the tool that I needed to shoot an image that would be satisfying to me, and the tool that I needed to edit that image, both appeared on my horizon at the same time. And suddenly I didn't need a crew. I did not need to learn how to use a 35 or 16 millimeter camera. I did not need to buy the expensive reel of 16 millimeter film. I could just take this relatively small DVX100, which I bought, attach a shotgun mic, and start filming short documentaries or start filming whatever I wanted. And I could edit it, and then I could put it online. There was no one, I didn't have to ask permission from anyone.
As the boom took off in filmmaking, the cameras also pointed towards the field of communication design. Designers in the field of graphic design were investigated in documentary-style movies by independent filmmakers. Prior to this time, designers frequently used film in their visual communication work, such as in Charles and Ray Eames' Powers of 10 or the film titling of Saul Bass, but there were very few films that focused specifically on communication design. Now, a new genre of films with design as the subject matter has arisen. Another critical innovation to this wave was the increase in high bandwidth internet access, which allowed video to be streamed online. This transformed video distribution for filmmakers to reach new and wider audiences. The more traditional distribution of cinema and DVD films greatly limited access for independent filmmakers. With all of the technological evolutions and boom over the past decade, the development of films on visual communication has been a very organic process. These movies vary widely in scope, technology used, and the way they are distributed and seen by the public. Two types of films predominantly define this wave. Short films that use the internet as a means of distribution or broadcast, and secondly, feature-length films that are initially released on DVD. Short web films or shorts may often be under 10 minutes. but their concise duration gives them the ability to tell a story quickly and powerfully. The short length of films also creates smaller file sizes, which allows them to be easily streamed over the internet, as well as hold the short attention span of the typical internet viewer. Film organizations and festivals qualify short films at different durations, but generally these films are less than 40 minutes. The majority of these design films can be seen for free over the internet. The independent filmmaker and designer Hillman Curtis is particularly noteworthy as a pioneer in creating short films on visual communication designers. Prior to the creation of YouTube, he created a series of short videos on some of the most notable practicing designers and provided them to the public to access from his website, hillmancurtis.com. Not only has he created a valuable, informative, and compelling body of work, but he has inspired other independent filmmakers to make films about design. 2 video sharing websites have revolutionized the distribution of short films for independent filmmakers: Vimeo, which was created in 2004, and YouTube, which was created in 2005. These sites, as well as personal websites, allow filmmakers to upload their movies for an almost global audience to have access to their works. Currently, these 2 websites are home to an ever-increasing number of short films created by independent filmmakers on typography and graphic design. Many shorts in this first wave of films have been created or sponsored by design-based organizations. For instance, the book publisher Gestalten has created a series of short films on designers that are the subjects of their books. These can be seen for free on their Gestalten TV website. The Design Council in the United Kingdom has created a number of educational videos to introduce and inform citizens on design. Lynda.com members can also see a number of informative online movies on designers and agencies in their Creative Inspiration series. As time continues, organizations like Gestalten are amassing a large collection of video resources. A significant body of feature-length documentary films has also been established that provides in-depth, historical, and critical perspectives on visual communication design. These films are available for purchase on DVD, and some are also available by digital download. Currently, the most popular and widely distributed of these films is Helvetica by Gary Huswit. As cited on the film's website, it uses the proliferation of the typeface Helvetica as a window to discuss typography, graphic design, and visual culture. Some of the world's most prominent designers are interviewed, which gives an insightful look into the dynamic world of visual communication design and typography. Other examples of films in this category include The Visual Language of Herbert Motter, Typeface, and Freedom on the Fence. I'd like to briefly summarize some of the significant implications of this first wave of visual communication design films. As implied in the title, this first wave is just a beginning to an organically developing and ever-growing genre of movies. As these films proliferate and are increasingly circulated in the public sphere, a better understanding and awareness of visual communication design may result. Not only does this exposure help the perception of the discipline, but a more well-informed public may better value and employ design as a way to solve complex problems. A growing number of films also provides valuable learning resources for those studying visual communication design, as well as supplemental materials for teachers to use in the classroom. The films also provide content that informs the dialogue and sometimes debate in the design community. This helps to inform our viewpoints and philosophies, whether we are students or professionals. The term globalism is an economic term, but I'm using it to describe the ability for an independent filmmaker to make a film on local design or on a local designer and share it on a globally accessible level. As a movie is a virally powerful communication medium, a local or regional design narrative can spread and influence and inform the visual cultures in other parts of the world. Finally, documentary film offers a platform for writers, scholars, designers, and filmmakers to perform research in a highly visual way that is advantageous when discussing graphic design. In many ways, it provides a much richer and often superior medium for conveying information about this visual discipline. The medium of the motion picture is also highly relevant in the 21st century, in a culture where the public is increasingly demanding of content that is engaging and digestible in shorter spurts of time.